Imagine a normal morning in Nevada. The air feels calm. The sky is open and bright. In the distance, mountains stand quietly, and large stretches of desert land spread far beyond what the eye can easily see. At an airport, a mail plane prepares for its journey. This is not a special flight. It is not carrying passengers who are traveling for vacation or emergency. It is carrying mail, letters, business documents, and important packages that people are waiting to receive. Back then, airmail was extremely important. It connected cities, towns, and rural areas. Many people depended on it for communication. Without it, messages could take much longer to arrive. So when the plane's engines start, and the aircraft begins to move down the runway, everything feels normal and routine. The pilot follows the planned route carefully. The crew checks instruments. The weather appears safe. There are no strong warnings. There is no sign that this flight will become a mystery. The plane lifts into the sky. It rises higher, becoming smaller as it moves across the horizon. From the ground, it looks like any other aircraft continuing its job. Inside the cockpit, the pilot communicates with air traffic control. The conversation is steady. Nothing unusual is reported. For a while, the flight continues as expected. Then, somewhere along the route, things change. The radio signal becomes weak. Communication may become unclear. Controllers try to reach the plane again. They call the aircraft by radio. They wait for a response. Silence follows. At first, this might not seem serious. Sometimes radio equipment can have temporary problems. Signals can fade. There can be short delays. But when time passes and the plane does not check in as scheduled, concern begins to grow. Now the flight is overdue. Air traffic officials start reviewing the flight path. They look at the last known location. They try to estimate where the aircraft might have been heading. Search and rescue teams are alerted. In aviation, when a plane goes missing, efforts usually begin quickly. Aircraft are sent into the sky to search from above. Ground teams may also be organized to look across possible crash areas. Nevada is a challenging place to search. It is large and filled with wide open land. There are deserts, rocky regions, remote valleys, and mountain areas. From the air, many parts of the landscape can look similar. If a plane crashes in a remote location, finding it can be extremely difficult, especially with older search technology from decades ago. There were no modern GPS tracking systems like we have today. There were no advanced satellite tools that could immediately show the aircraft's exact position. Search crews look carefully, they scan for smoke, they check for debris, they follow maps and reports. Days may pass. The hope is that some sign will appear, even a small piece of metal, a trail, or evidence on the ground. But in this case, no confirmed wreckage was publicly identified in a way that clearly solved the mystery. As time goes on, the story becomes more uncertain. People begin asking many questions. Did the aircraft experience engine trouble? Mechanical failure was always a possibility in older planes. Even a small problem could become serious if it happened over remote land. Did weather conditions change suddenly? Even if reports were clear at departure, conditions in the sky can shift quickly. Strong winds, turbulence, or reduced visibility could create danger. Another possibility is navigation error. Years ago, pilots relied on instruments that were not as advanced as today's systems. If a reading was slightly off, or if visibility became poor, the aircraft could move away from its planned route without realizing it. Over a large and empty landscape, even a small mistake could lead far from the intended path. Some people also consider the idea that the plane may have crashed in a location that was extremely hard to access. Nevada has areas that are isolated and rarely visited. If wreckage landed in rugged terrain, deep desert, or a hidden valley, it might remain unnoticed for a long time. Over the years, wind and sand can cover parts of debris. Natural conditions can slowly change the landscape, making discovery even harder. What makes this mystery stand out is the lack of a clear public ending. In many aviation accidents, investigators are able to find evidence that explains what happened. But in this situation, no widely confirmed wreckage was shared publicly as proof of the final outcome. That leaves room for questions and curiosity. As decades passed, aviation safety improved greatly. Modern aircraft now use advanced tracking systems. Pilots can communicate more reliably. Emergency signals can be detected faster. Search operations today use satellite technology and improved coordination. If something similar happened now, it would likely be handled much more quickly and efficiently. But in the past, investigators had limited tools. Once contact was lost, locating a missing plane in a vast region could take a long time and sometimes remain incomplete. Over time, the lost Nevada airmail plane became part of aviation mystery discussions. A system that depended on communication, yet ended without clear answers. The letters and packages it carried were meant to arrive safely, but the aircraft itself disappeared from public knowledge. Even today, people who enjoy historical mysteries continue to talk about it. They wonder if new research could reveal more details. Sometimes old cases are reopened when new evidence appears. Sometimes records become clearer with time. And sometimes mysteries remain unsolved, preserved in history as reminders of how unpredictable the world once was. In the end, this story is powerful because of its simplicity. There was no dramatic warning, no public emergency message. Just a normal flight that left the ground and never returned in a way that was fully explained to the public. The desert is quiet, and the sky above Nevada is still wide and open, holding the memory of that vanished aircraft. And that silence is what keeps the mystery alive.